Hello, this is Shalon with Bible Journaling Ministries, and today I want to show you how to create a beautiful ocean background using distress ink, archival ink, and watercolor brush pens. So if you're ready, let's get started. Okay, so I want to show you how to create just a beautiful, simple, ocean-like background to use with this absolutely beautiful kit for Job 12, 8 through 10. And it says, "Or speak to the earth, and it shall teach thee, and the fishes of the sea shall declare unto thee, who knoweth not in all these things that the hand of the Lord hath wrought this, in whose hand is the soul of every living thing and the breath of all mankind." And this is a 3-page kit. This is the first page, just beautiful colors and gorgeous sea creatures. This kit just makes me happy. This is the first page here. The second page has your faith text cards, some flags, some other sea creatures, as well as some washi tape and some crosses. And then the third page, which I have printed on clear sticker paper because this is just makes my eyes and my mind and my heart happy. These colors and these sea creatures, the sea turtles and the fish and the jellyfish and the shells. So I printed just this page on clear sticker paper, and the other two I have printed on a white sticker paper, all cut out with my silhouette and ready to go. But I wanted to show you how to create a water background using distress ink or just archival ink. Just that I have with my stamps. I have all different colors of ink. So if you don't have distress ink, you can always use regular stamping ink, the archival ink. And then 2 different watercolor brushes that I have here. I also have just a cutting mat that I'm going to put my ink down on and then use my brushes to pick it up and color my page with. So that is what I'm going to do first. Now I've already washied over verses 8 through 10 in Job 12. I am in my Illustrating Bible by Dayspring, and so I'm going to just use the archival ink and the distress inks. I'm actually going to use that on the bottom, like below my washi tape, because I kind of feel like that would be us looking into the ocean just that deep. Now you can do the whole page if you choose. That is okay. So I'm going to go ahead and just start with my archival ink, and I'm going to put it down on my cutting mat. I just want some ink down, and so some color. And then I'm going to use my larger watercolor brush pen. And if you can see how wide that tip is. So it's already a bit wet, if you can tell. So I'm just going to give that a gentle squeeze to put a little bit more of the water down on the brush. You can kind of see that just a little bit. And then I'm just going to pick up my ink here. And I'm going to start at the bottom and just make what would look like some waves. Now you could do this also with watercolors if you'd like. Sometimes my watercolors, they don't have as much pigment as I would like, so I like to use the inks, and then the more water that I add to the ink, it gives me a different color. Okay, so I'm just going through here, picking up some of this ink off of the cutting mat, and because the deeper that you go into the ocean, of course, the less light, so it's darker down there. And I forgot to put something behind my page, so let me do that very quickly. I'll just put that there. Actually, I think I'm going to, because I'm not going all the way. There we go. Okay. Now, if I see that I have too much water and it's not dark enough, I can just add some more ink to my pad, to my cutting mat there, from my pad, and pick up some more pigment. But I'm starting with the darker and just kind of making some, I'm making some waves. Let's get some of that darker ink again. Just pick up some of that darker pigment. Just turning my brush to a thinner side, and then pick up just a little bit of this water. Okay. Give it some more depth with the darker. And I can just keep adding to this till I'm satisfied with the darker blue. And again, I'm just going to pick up a little bit of water here. Not too much, just a little. And pick up that pigment. Pick up that ink with my watercolor brush. Just kind of spread that ink around. I do keep baby wipes handy so that I can pick up my ink if I need to off of my mat, but I usually just wait and do that later. Okay, so I'm just going to take a tissue and squeeze some of this color out just to clean off my brush a bit, because I'm going to pick up lighter colors now. Okay, and you could take your tissue as well and just wipe up your ink. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to move on to Mermaid Lagoon. This is from Jim Holt's Ranger Distress ink, and I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to just pat the ink down on my cutting mat. Now, if you don't have watercolor brush pens like this, you can always take water, like a spray bottle with water, and just lightly spray this just to add or spray to the side or something like that, so that you could pick it up from that. So let me So I'm just going to pick up this Mermaid Lagoon Distress ink and do the same thing. Just pick up the ink and kind of blend it into that as you're coming up to a not so deep level of the ocean. But I do want to kind of blend that in. And just continue on picking up that ink and water and kind of give it some dimension. It's very relaxing for me to create this kind of a background. Oh, I used the wrong color. I used my other color. That's okay. It will be there when I need it. So Mermaid Lagoon, I'm going to go ahead and add some more of that. The right color this time. And pick that up with my watercolor brush pen. Kind of activate that ink just a little bit. And just blend to your heart's content there with that. You pick up a little more water if you want it to be a little lighter. Okay. Need a little more pigment here, a little more ink. I like distress inks because they are so versatile and there's so many different ways to use them, and this is one of my favorite ways to use the distress inks. It's almost like a watercolor, but they're so much more pigmented, and so I find that some of my watercolors, I have a couple of different brands, aren't nearly as pigmented, and so there we go. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of clear that off. Now I had, as you saw earlier, I put the wrong color here. Now this is called Peacock Feathers, and it's more of a lighter turquoise, and so I got some water out, cleaned my brush. I'm just going to pick up some of this pigment. And see, it had been there for a couple of minutes. Okay. So just, again, just kind of make some free-handed waves. Let go of that perfection, and you just want the different colors. And again, I'm going to blend here where I did the Mermaid Lagoon and add some peacock feather just to you kind of get a different depth. It's like the water is moving. Just pick some more of that up. More of the pigmented. You could do this however you would like. If If you want to layer the colors, just remember that if you get too much wet and it begins to mix, then you might end up with a mud color, and we don't want that. Let's pick up some of this because I want it a little bit lighter. See how I made it light with just adding more water to it, getting my brush tip lighter. And I love the brush tip, the brush pins, because I can move them and kind of make, you know, waves at the top like this. Okay. I'm picking up some more ink. Okay. Let me put some more ink down. All right. All right, so now we just kind of have some, and if you wanted to take acrylic paints and make you some caps on these waves, that would be okay too. All right, so I've got 3 different shades of inks that I've used. 2 are distress inks, and 1 is just an archival dye stamp ink that I have. I've got a lot of stamps and I've got a lot of different inks, and so I like to just utilize those. I don't have a lot of distress inks, just a few little colors. I think I got a kit one time and it had some different colors in it. So okay, so that is how you can use distress ink or stamp ink, archival dye, to create a background. And I really just wanted to do like an ocean, because these beautiful, beautiful fish and elements that Tracy created in this bonus kit. So I'm going to start with this purple fish because it caught my eye so very much. Okay. I'm going to get this beautiful, beautiful purple fish. We're going to put him right at the top. And if you'll notice how, because he's on clear sticker paper, the blue kind of pulls up, but you can still see the other colors in this beautiful fish. So I'm going to take the conch shell here. I believe it's a conch shell. It may be something different. And I'm going to put him down at the bottom here. You can still see the colors, the purple colors, but it just adds where you can see the water behind it. It's just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I'm going to take the jellyfish here. And so when I cut this out, it cut, it left, I don't know if you can see that or not. Well, you may not be able to see it, but it left some of the clear, but that's okay because it's going to pick up like it's going through the water. And you see the water in the jellyfish tentacles. Just going to pull my page just a bit here. There. Now I'm going to grab this seahorse, and again I printed him on white sticker paper, so it's going to give a little bit of a different look, but he has all of those colors in him, those bright, vibrant colors. He's just beautiful. So I'm going to gently pull him up. Get him over here. And then I can pull that off. Okay. I just love these larger elements with, and they're always the third page of the kits, the 3-page kits. So I'm going to lay him down. Now, if you see I've got some white space here in him, I'm going to take, because it's down here in the bottom, I'm going to take my darker blue and just pat me out one little spot. I'm going to take my smaller watercolor brush pen, so it's smaller. Get that brush, that tip, just a little bit wet. Pick some of that ink up, very little, and I'm just going to kind of dab that over the white there so that it's not a stark white with the space. Now I could come back and do get that a little bit on the wet side. So I could come back and I could do the same thing. So this was the middle where I used Mermaid Lagoon. And just pick a little bit of that up. And remember, I used a little more water because I don't want it too pigmented, but I can come back and just dot in some of those white spaces to make it a little less white, where it kind of blends just on the outside edges or inside. This kit is just gorgeous. It's just breathtaking. Okay, now I can get some more water here, get this off, and then pick up a little bit of the darker, come down here and do these as well, just to kind of blend it in, because I did not print him on clear sticker paper. I printed him on white sticker paper. So we'll just make him blend in there. Okay. Beautiful. Beautiful. And this verse reminds me of, and this verse came to mind, it's one of my favorites when I think about my own praise and worship of the Lord. And you know, some people don't understand my way of praising and worshiping, and that's okay. We're all different. But one of my favorite verses is, if I do not praise the Lord, if I do not cry out in praise, then the rocks will do it for me. And my husband and I have always kept that verse in the forefront of our minds, because I don't want the rocks to cry out. So every soul, even the fish of the sea declare the Lord's goodness and just how amazing he is. So I'm using, from this first page, I'm using the words here. And I'm going to, every soul is in God's hands. How amazing is that? God is so good. Every soul is in God's hands. And then I'm going to use the larger elements. The fish of the sea declare. And I'm going to pull this closer to, actually I'm going to start with the bottom, with the last word. And I'm just going to place that. So then at least I could have my spacing. And it may not be perfectly straight, and that is okay with me. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to see about, let's put the starfish in there, because it's a beautiful bright pinkish color, and it will change just a little bit against our blue background, but still very vibrant, just beautiful. This page just makes me happy. Let's put our sea turtle. Let's get a sea turtle and put him down here at the very bottom. And he's swimming along at the bottom of the ocean. Just beautiful. Okay. And now I still have room that I can journal here. I can journal around my words. But this is just such a beautiful illustration and moment of dwelling in the Word. Let's take our washi tape off, and then I can highlight my verses. And I really did this not to prevent, which you could, to prevent, coloring over, or, being able to come back and highlight your verse, but I really wanted it for my my border, if you will, of the ocean. But if you wanted to do a whole page ocean, that's okay too. So I'm going to take my zebra midliner, and I'm going to use this turquoise color here and just highlight my verses 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so I'm going to, it's very much an oceany color, my highlighter. Okay, so there we have it. I hope you all enjoyed this tutorial on learning how to use inks, different inks, distress, and just your stamping archival ink, and watercolor brushes, a little bit of water and your imagination, and learning how to make a beautiful background for the fishes of the sea that declare the wonder of God. Now, I wanted to show you, I did have some bleed through on the back side. This does not bother me at all, because it gives me a palette to start on this page. So it doesn't bother me. They do bleed through because they are so pigmented. So just to be aware, if you wanted to gesso before you use them, you could do that, a very thin layer of gesso, let it dry, and then come back and use your inks. It does not bother me. I do not prep my pages. So I hope you have enjoyed this, and be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Put any questions that you may have in the comments, and be sure to click that subscribe button so that you never ever miss a video, tutorial, technique, review, anything that comes up with Bible Journaling Ministries YouTube channel. So thank you for watching, and I will see you again soon. Bye!